What up, Devil? Sensei-tutum here with another video for ya. Got the ETH chart up, but today's video is not really about ETH. We'll talk about it, but it's not really about ETH. It's about pitchforks and trading pitchforks. A member a few weeks ago, and I'm sure they don't even remember asking me. I can't remember who it was at this point or what we were talking about. But we were talking about pitchfork trading, and I was saying how I don't incorporate anything as a pillar of my trading strategies unless I can trade it by itself. Elliott Wave, algos, pitchforks, Vegas waves. I use candlesticks as well on higher time frames. All these things are, they have to meet a certain criteria, right? That I do. And anything that I want to incorporate. First of all, it has to be simple. Why? Because I need to understand it, and I'm not that smart, right? And I got a lot of shit going on in life. I don't have time to sit here and line up 1,000 fucking laser beams that I don't understand, that I can't make a trading decision off of. I don't have time for that shit. And so I need it simple, and I need it to be actionable on its own. So those things I just listed are all part of that. And then, there's some more things in there. And then of course I need it to be, again, this number one is simple. Number two is actionable. I need to be able to trade it on its own, and that's the criteria basically. And of course, third, it's if it fits in with the other things that I'm doing, of course that's better because. But I don't, I haven't found something that meets the first two and doesn't meet the third, but it needs to fit in with everything else I'm doing, so that I can use it with my other tools, right? This I was talking about sort of that, with this member in the Discord, chatting, not speaking, chatting with typed words, but and they said, so how do you trade the pitchfork? And I had intended to at one point, I've been and all the members know I make a lot of training content, and when I was starting all that, one of the first things I was going to do, because I love this damn thing so much, was make some more pitchfork content. And I went back and rewatched the video that Sam made. He made this one video, and it's long. It's over an hour, I believe. But man, it's got everything you really need in there to be a profitable trader. Honestly, at least from the analysis perspective, using forks alone. So I didn't go down that road because that thing is complete and it's a great video. So if you're a member and you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch that. If you're not a member, I don't know, tell you, watch this video. Maybe you'll get something from it. So I didn't go down that path. And so in this video, but since that member asked me that, I've been consciously thinking, okay, how do I sort of explain this without, without doing a full-blown training video? So I just started tracking ETH with only geometry. Well, that's not true. I've got my Elliott account, my normal chart and all, but I just started tracking ETH with just simple geometry and pitchforks recently, right? And then I've been posting updates to the members. And we've had three, depending on how you trade it, 3 to 4 profitable trades, all in a row, no losers, just on pitchforks and geometry. Vegas Wave's on here. Didn't really consider it that much in the charts, but so let's talk about it. So this is the current ETH chart. Let's go to the first one I posted. So in this one here, what do we see? We see, when you're trading pitchforks, you can use lower degree and larger degree pitchforks together. In addition to Sam's video, of course, we have the Andrews document that gives you the style and all that. So, but those two things are really all you need to learn. How do you do this profitably? But we had a double medium miss here, right? So already we had a double medium miss. We broke this parallel at the time of this chart that I made it, and then we're consolidating against this lower channel line. What does that mean? Well, it means that shit's gonna probably break because it's test, 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 and when it does, it should get down here pretty freaking quick, right? So first video I made, and of course we know what happens when you miss a median, right? You have an 80% likelihood to make a median line if you have good pivots, which these are good pivots, right? 80% likelihood to meet this. And if you don't meet it, then price should at least go back to the area that it began its move towards the median. So for this smaller fork here, for this bigger fork here. So just on this first chart we made, if price breaks trigger line, and I don't like to, when I post videos, even for the members, sometimes I will, talk about trade ideas, but it's never, I don't like to make calls for you guys because I'm not trading your charts. I'm here to teach you. I'm not here to, trade your chart. It's not, it's fundamentally not something I want to do. It's not on my list of job responsibilities. If it was, maybe I would, but it's not. So I don't do that for you guys. Anyway, if price breaks the trigger line, small fork, it should rapidly meet the 100 of the big fork. So, that's a nice, obviously can't put the measurement tool on right here, but that's a nice trade. Whether you trade the breakout, whether you, whatever you use for your entry idea, it's a nice trade. Or a 30-minute close, a 1 hour close, 15-minute close below the parallel, whatever. So we go to the next clip. Boom. Look what we had. Swiftly retrace to that bigger parallel. So good trade, right? Well, what's next? Then we're testing. Okay. If price breaks this 100 parallel, minimum target should be the purple 236. This guy here. Primary target should be the blue 1.5. This guy here. And to satisfy the larger median miss. Why did I say the 1.5? Because it's the first parallel of the pitchfork that would run into where it would be able to break this. So we know that if you're a pitchfork trader, you know that this is going to offer support. Well, you know that you're going to offer support at some parallel. Which one is relevant? Well, these are, of course, I'm using fib numbers, right? 5 is not a fib, but it's a widely accepted important market ratio, right? So the 1.5, 1 and 1.236, and 1.5 is the first, and not to mention it's sort of equal, close to equal intervals, would be the first one to basically meet that criteria. So let's look. So this was the minimum target. So depending on how you traded this, you could have traded to the minimum target. And of course, we have this simple, and this is actually kind of an Elliott channel, but regardless, we have a simple channel that should also offer importance. I mean, the median is obviously important on this channel here, right? We had this channel with levels of importance. I put in this note here that we may potentially find support here and then bounce. So, in a perfect world, if you come down here, test this, bounce, you short on the retest of this parallel, and then you place your stop above it somewhere, maybe even above the Vegas waves, depending on what you want to do. So, I put that there. Let's see what happened. Look at that. We did find support there, but no, we didn't get much of a bounce off of it, and then boom, broke right through to the first target, and then just said that we got to the target, should probably consolidate some before we break down. And look, do you think this is on accident? None of this is on accident. And you don't need to bounce exactly off of a geometry or a support level for it to be support. Think more like rubber bands or, bouncy, a trampoline more than, where you go down, sink through it, almost hit the ground and bounce up. That's the way I think of support. Maybe you think to the tick. I just don't. That's, it's not what I need. It's not how I trade. I mean, look at this. To me, this is consolidating on this parallel. Anyway, so yeah, perfectly met. I mean, this is a surgical strike. So now let's look at, we'll go back to this chart. Surgical strike, retrace, boom, surgical strike again, parallel. So that's depending on how you traded it, whether you held to here or held to just, profit, entry, profit. 3 to 4 trades in a row, no losses. Now, what happens after here? Well, we've now satisfied both. We satisfied this median miss when we got to this parallel, right? And then we satisfied this miss once we got to this parallel. Hadn't quite satisfied it here, right? So that's why you definitely sort of expected that we could easily. This is kind of like trading with the trend, right, guys? So now what? Are we expecting it to go down? I haven't done any analysis, to be quite honest with you. How long are we in here? We're 10 minutes in. I was going to do new analysis and show what I expect next, but maybe I'll just make a chart and post that for the members as well. Maybe I haven't put it on Twitter. Maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, let's keep this video relatively decent length. But just wanted to talk about, for that member that asked me, how exactly are you trading Pitchfork? This is not, not talking exact, but giving you ideas. And my trading method, I don't, every trade is a dynamic, fluid situation. So you sort of apply all of your tools, to a unique situation. Just like when you're driving your car, you never come up, you come to a stoplight all the time, but it's never the exact same, right? So, but, people have been asking me a lot, or not asking me, I've been thinking a lot about how to give you guys exactly cookie cutter, simple way that I trade. And I'm working on that, to give you, something that you could potentially build your own strategy on, entry, exit, et cetera, especially since that in the applied series, which you have your basic take target, wave 3, et cetera. That's the last episode of the applied series, where we're going to talk about trading. But then after that, I really want to talk about the method that I use and combining it all. That's another project. So thinking about it, we'll see if I'm smart enough to give you guys a marketable trading strategy. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Oh, and what you want to do with your Pitchfork, if you just, did those simple Pitchfork and you don't want to use Elliott Wave, you don't have to use Elliott Wave. You could use this and combine it with anything. I've looked into the Renko strategy before, but I'd never, traded it. And now that Sam's sort of focused on it and teaching it, as you guys, most of you should know, I'm a former student here, so, at Trade Devil. So, I haven't been trading for 25 years. I am a profitable trader, but I wasn't until I came to Trade Devils. Anyway, but you could combine this potentially with Renko for entries, for exits, and things like that. The Renko strategy that, I'm starting to look into now because, that's what we're doing over here at TD. But yeah, so lots of good things. So hopefully you guys like that video. I had enough energy. I am sick today. So let me sign out here.